Welcome back to the Endgame Podcast. I'm Lynch Hunt and
I'm Rob Brown. What's up?
Shout out to Max Maxwell, man. We're going to see him soon, and you will be seeing him back up on this joint with all of us real soon. Yo, what's up, Big Rod? How you feeling, man?
Feel great, man.
You feel great, man.
That's the only way I'm going to have it, man.
Great spirits, great vibrations, great energy. You know, you're emanating greatness as of late. And I know you got a lot of stuff on your plate.
Regardless of how, you know, the storms are, like the winds and the rains and all that swirling. Yeah, man, it's all Gucci, man.
Well, I think that you got to be intentional to do that, right?
100%.
You got to be 100%.
You got to push past how you feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe the perception of how we process how we feel, because the feeling's real.
Yeah, because I was about to say, what do you mean by that? Because the feeling is 100% real.
Because then we process it like we got these stupid filters. Like, I'm talking about stupid because, like, my pop used to tell me, like, you got to get rid of that stinking thinking. That's what he used to tell me. And so I call these filters stupid because if you filter them, if they filter through the stupid filters, it becomes stinking thinking.
Got it.
You got these people that have regular stuff going on,
right? And
it brings them so far down that it takes them a month to get through fucking flat tire.
I was about to say, you gotta be careful saying regular stuff though, because what's regular to you might be catastrophic to somebody else. Right?
I mean, you're absolutely right, but you know. It can't be too bad. You know, you pull up to the gym and you got 20 tents, 10 on one side of the street, 10 on the other side of the street. Homeless tents.
Right.
You pull up to the tent, you're coming to work out with an attitude, and there's 20 homeless people parked in front of the gym.
Drove past 20
you just drove past them. You paid them no mind, and they actually have some problems. And you telling me that, it's all good.
That brings me to rock bottom.
Ooh.
I've talked to several people this week. People have reached out that feel like they've hit their rock bottom.
That's dope.
Right. And so, you know, the old adage, if you're there's no way but up.
Yeah, right? Where else to go? That's why I said it's dope. Yeah. About time.
About time to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
So you see that as almost like a place of, okay, now let's go.
Yeah, back against the wall.
I done slid. Back is now against the wall. Got to fight out the corner. Got to go up, and we'll probably do the extraordinary to get back up. Right? You ever hit rock bottom or felt like you hit rock bottom?
Yeah, man, we call it a C moment, a significant emotional event, but that's all the time. I mean, like you can create C moments now. It don't have to be rock bottom. Like right. So when you hit a C moment or rock bottom, you pretty much got to do like a 180 shift. You got to go the opposite way. But these days, we're not waiting till we get to rock bottom to make a shift. So now it's just a 1 or 2 degree shift that can change the entire trajectory of, you know, where you're headed. And, you know, if you're conscious enough to, you know, make those shifts ahead of time, then, you know, you literally can, you can course correct really, really quick.
I could think about a few rock bottom moments, or I felt like they were rock bottom moments. And I had a numbness, like getting, you know, let's say step 0 is the bottom. Like maybe on step 2, going down to step 1, I was kind of numb, like almost like, okay, here we go. I'm about to hit step 0. And that seemed like the hardest part of the whole situation, because it's like you're drifting downward and you're numb, and which means that you can't really, you know, combat it. You can't do anything about it. Even your thoughts are like, I'm just numb right now. Yeah. Right. Almost in a place of, I don't know. I'm not depression, but just in a place of, and not even desperation. It's just a neutral place. Yeah. A neutral place. Yeah. That numbness. You ever felt like that?
Yeah. I mean,
how you get through,
but it's honestly, that's not the time when you actually feel like that. It's the people that are stuck in the middle where things ain't moving up, things ain't moving down. They're numb to their stagnation.
Right.
When you at the bottom, you know, like, yo, I am here.
I'm here. Right.
Yeah, that ain't the part. Like now you just got to go. So when you just think about all the people that you talk to on a regular basis that ain't nothing shifting and changing their life, they're not at the bottom.
Right.
They're numb because they're in the middle. Middle class is the worst shit ever.
That's a dangerous place.
Average is the worst stuff ever. Good is the worst shit ever.
Right. Because I can deal with, I can deal with being at the top. I can deal with being at the bottom. But like you said, gotta do. Right. But being in that middle, that's a dangerous place.
Yeah.
And it's probably the most uncertain place to be. Right.
Absolutely.
But in America, we push middle class. You want to be in the middle. You want to have the car, the house, the picket fence, the 2 kids and the dog, and be able to, pay a little bit of taxes, right? You don't want to have to pay a lot of taxes. That means you're making a lot of money, but we want you right there in the middle. And a lot of stuff is built or programmed for us to be right there. Yeah,
because at the top, it's going to be a lot of uncomfortable times because there's a lot of pressure that if you want to stay here, you got to continue to do the things that you need to do to stay up here.
There.
At the bottom, there's a lot of pressure. You don't want to stay here. You don't want to be here. So you got to continue to do things that are out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's going to push you up.
Right. Yeah.
I read this thing that talked about, because, we've talked about capitalistic societies before. And I read this thing that said that poverty is a must for a capitalistic society. Right. But sense. We talk about poverty and we talk about, particularly politicians talk about poverty and ending poverty and, how in the world can we have, poverty in the United States, the richest country in the world. But it's necessary for a capitalistic society. The habits of the poor are a must for a capitalistic society. So they can go, people with poor habits, they spend money on stuff they can't afford. They, they just consume things that they have no business consuming for whatever reason. And I'm like, that's cruel and unusual punishment. That's a whole nother form of slavery. By, knowing that that's the case and, making sure that segment of people exist in the United States. Why wouldn't we want to try to pull everybody up? But then the other side of that is like, man, it's like, what's true? You know what I'm saying? What's really true is, if that's the case, then, things that we do or things that we connect people to, is it really benefiting them, right? Because if we know the chess game is to keep a certain class of people poor, is it futile efforts? You know what I'm saying? Is it worth the energy, the effort to try to lift people out?
Yeah, absolutely. If people don't have the information, they're never going to be able to well, for one, it's about conditioning. We're conditioned to consume, or we're conditioned to spend, or conditioned to, keep up with, what, popular culture, or, things we see on TV, radio, and all that stuff. So it's layered before, you actually understand that it's geared that way. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're in it, there's so many layers to it that you're just following your favorite rapper. You just, you just want to be like your, the favorite ball player. Right. And that was all of us. So, we're no different than everybody else. Because I like Charles Barkley. I like Michael Jordan. I had J's. I had Nikes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I liked KRS-One. So, whoever's, he was the P is free, but the crack costs money. He was the first one. So he became a teacher, after that. But
whoever's lit, that's who we follow.
Follow that, yeah.
And we try to emulate the things that they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Which means we're gonna spend the money, you're gonna wear the ice, you're gonna do all this other stuff.
Right. Well, that's it comes from the influence, the power, and the knowledge. And when we put in them things together, we can make some shifts and make some change. But we don't know how to use the influence to our advantage, so that we can get the proper knowledge across, so that it becomes power that we can use to change the whole culture and community.
But it seems like the particularly entertainers and athletes, like their influence is 10x'd.
Yeah.
Compared to the cat in your neighborhood that's, built a rec center and has saved, dozens of kids. It's like, why isn't, their influence as heavy? Right.
It's because the value that we place on popular culture. We actually hold entertainers and celebrities and sports players into higher regard than a local mentor or just a local business person.
How does that happen? Like, what's the psychology behind that? Is it just that we don't see the cat in the community doing the community stuff, and we see these athletes and entertainers? Yeah, I mean,
it's television, it's radio, it's those things that we have placed importance and significance on throughout the time. Right. So when the boom of radio came, and then radio was replaced by television, and then television was replaced by the phone with, and so, or the movies and stuff like that. And then you have the rise of, that influence, right. So now at least we have phones now, and we can build platforms to where we can get influence. So, I'm super strategic about all the stuff that I do. Like I'm a musical artist for that reason. Right. Like I don't rap, I don't sing. I need to be influential when I go play the fucking orchestra. You know what I'm saying? That's I play the orchestra. Yeah. So, but I have to meet people where they are. If they're influenced by music, then I need to be a musical artist. If they need to see me, on TV, then I have the segment on TV, on the news. I can say, yo, here, like I have a documentary out. So I have an IMDb profile. Right. So I actually, like I'm a artist and on, a film producer, all that different type of stuff. So if I need to check all these boxes for people, I can, And even like I hit you up one time. I was like, yo, Rod, I'm doing this joint real quick. I'm about to put you down as an executive producer for Prison Prosperity, because if you need to check a box later on, I understand the system, and I'm allow you to go ahead and get you to check the box, and then we'll build off of that shit later.
Right. Tootie is an executive assistant on something, right?
Tootie got affirmation cards. Tootie is an author of affirmation cards, which has an ISBN, which makes her a literally author of a book right now. You know what I'm saying? My wife is, we checking all these boxes. I got all my kids on the documentary, all my kids. And the reason why I chose IMDb, and let me give some game real quick. The reason why IMDb is owned by Amazon. So when you're talking search engine optimization, when you type in my name or my profile or whatever, them things are going to get top hits. As soon as you type it in. Like I'm hip to the game. Got it. So you understand what I'm saying? Right. But
so it says that you're an author. It says that you're a music artist.
Right. It says I'm an author. It says I'm a music producer. It says I'm all this different type of stuff. And then, you use all that stuff. So this is how I do so much work in the community. This is how, I'm able to get into prison or over here, because I use influence, power, and what was the last one? The three. I don't know. The three we just said. It was knowledge. Knowledge. Yeah. Influence, the power, and the knowledge or the information. So if we're trying to do something, sometimes we have to go to the person who has the influence. And we might have to build value with that person so that we can walk through the door. And because that person with the influence might have the power. Sometimes we got to figure out how to get to the person with the power. Or sometimes we may have the knowledge and information, but we don't have the power or the influence. You know what I'm saying? And we got to figure out how to marry all those so we can get some shit done.
It's three-headed monster.
Yeah. Shout out to Jerome. Jerome. So Jerome sent it in our group. But I ran with that shit. I took it and just I'm out. And I was hold on real quick. I was at a community organization meeting last night. There was an organized meeting last night because of the stuff that happened at Dudley. And, I was present. I was front line because influence, power, and knowledge or information. And I literally had to go in there and talk to people about strategies, tactics, and processes, because you're not just going to muscle your way into getting stuff done. You're not just going to beat gangs at shooting if you ain't used to shooting and you ain't got artillery and shit. So I'm telling them it's ways to get stuff done, but we got to be strategic about it.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That was crazy that what happened over there too, and that's that's a good effort to help plan that out.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't get it. That ain't the first time something like that has happened.
Right.
So why we got to get together and plan something that should be like.
Well, I mean, because one, it's not it wasn't a school issue. It's a community issue.
Got it.
And if the community doesn't band together to make sure that this doesn't happen at the school, then it's going to keep happening.
It's gonna keep happening.
And then when they don't understand the approach, it's like going to the doctor. You treating symptoms instead of
coming up with a cure.
You got it.
Trying to kill the disease.
Yeah, you got it.
It was an interesting conversation in the chat about the superhero.
Oh,
the perceived
that was a
superhero.
dope conversation.
And
it's still going.
Do you have, like people they want Superman, but they don't want fool with Clark Kent. But Clark and Superman are one and the same. Now, Superman hides the fact that he's Clark Kent, right? But Clark Kent is necessary in order for Superman to exist. And then just about, all the superheroes, they have some kind of alter ego. Like, do you feel like you have, because you are a hero to a whole bunch of people. Do you feel like you got there's a Clark Kent?
Oh yeah. I'm Clark Kent by nature. I didn't put on a Superman suit just to put
on the cape.
Yeah, I play.
So you're saying you're reverse? You're saying you're reverse?
Yeah.
So
I just play a superhero on TV.
Oh,
yeah, I'm chill.
Because most of the superheroes, they're only a hero when they have to be the hero, and all the other time they are, they're Clark Kent.
Yeah,
they're the alter ego. And so you're saying you are always Clark until. Well, no. How did you say it? Because you said it would sound like it was backwards.
Yes, I'm always Clark until it's time to go out.
Okay, so that's like the regular superhero though.
Yeah,
that's
but
not any different.
So the problem is people want the superhero, but they don't really. They want to be. I don't even know how to say it. So we have a gift and a curse. Mm-hmm. And we see things that people don't see. And sometimes that's to our detriment because we're trying to save people that don't even know they need to be saved or don't even want to be saved.
Right.
So when we come to, help people, do what we do, we educate, motivate, empower people, whatever that thing is that you do to uplift those people. They don't know that it's time for them or the need for them to be uplifted. So the fight ensues. The antagonistic, opposite of what you thought you were coming to do actually happens, and you're met with resistance and things like that. So it makes our job super hard because we're running into an abandoned building. We're running into a building that's probably on fire, right? And these people standing here like, man.
So you run in as Clark Kent, or do you run in as Superman?
Well, I still got my powers whether I run in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether I run in there is
but
mostly
what do people see you as? What do people?
Well, mostly everybody knows who I am. They know who I am.
But do they see you? But do you think they see you as because I think the difference is. Well, I know the difference is. It's the butts, right? It's the he can fly, but. He does this, or or he's weak at this. It's the kryptonite whole thing, right? So that's the butt. Like you're everything but, and a lot of people don't have access to the butts. They don't know about the butts. They just know about he can fly, he can he's faster than a speeding bullet.
I think it's totally different. It's it's because my wife might see that I didn't take a shower all day or something like that. Like that don't make her not pay me no mind.
Right.
But I will tell the
inmates might be like, you ain't take a shower all day?
No. This is what I'm telling you. I was different with me because I will be in a speech with 500 people and tell a motherfucker that I ain't take a shower today.
Right. Okay. Right.
So
that's different.
It ain't about that. It's about the disbelief.
Right.
It's about the disbelief in what we are doing. And will it help me or do I need it to help me? That's not for me right now. So just think about all the things that that we might put in the men's group chat.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then how many people will actually take a a forward step towards any of those things that we might put in there as a call to action. There's only 2 people, like, dude, 3, doing like the challenge. Out of the whole group, everybody else is just existing in the group. It's you, it's Brandon, it's Jamie, and
E.
Oh yeah, E's on it, and Brandon, Brandon, Jerome, Jamie, you, and E. Are ones that are like have accepted the challenge.
Right. So you don't think the other people have, or are they just silent?
No, they haven't accepted any challenge. So there's a sure way for you to be average. You know what it is? Stop accepting challenges.
Ignore the challenge.
The journey to the next level is always going to be an uphill battle, an uphill fight, and an uphill climb.
Right.
So if you're coasting, you're probably going downhill.
Right.
If you want to go up, you got to accept the challenge to fight. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a sure way to live an average life. And what happens is most of us never go to the next level because we accept an average life. We accept an average weight. We accept an average wage, an average relationship, an average finances. Once we accept that shit, we about to stay right there.
Man, that is so true. Like, so, you know, I jump on the Peloton every morning, jump on the bike. And if I'm pushing for a personal best, a PR, one of the things that helps me do that is increase my resistance.
That's the principle.
If I increase the resistance, it's harder, but I can get more mileage and I can get more output.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
But if I put it on, because I don't even do the recommended like resistance because it's not going to get
you to your goal.
Right.
Now,
I'm not going to hit a PR.
So just think about it. But in the challenge, I actually have to administer to everybody, give everybody a certain amount of calories on their cardio on the days that they're not with me.
Right.
So those people are actually putting in their receipts saying, I did the cardio that you told me to do.
Right.
That's accepting the challenge.
Got it.
Now, when you see my shit at 3:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning, you're like, man, this dude was on the stepper at 2:55.
We were both like, me and Brandon were like, how you get all that done before 5? We on our way.
Tough.
For the 5 o'clock class. And you done.
It's tough.
You got your arms folded like, come on, y'all, let's go. I'm like, what?
So I have to, remember I told you, I said discipline, my definition of discipline was self-imposed standards for the sake of a higher goal.
Yep.
There were self-imposed standards. And when I'm watching Kobe and all these different people, I'm like, yo, Kobe didn't tell people that he was going to go practice at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. He just developed a habit that he was always going to be in the gym before everybody else, and he was going to leave after everybody else.
Right.
And when they do their regular standard stuff, he was going to do that too because it was obligated.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he had to show up to practice with everybody else. So if he got to practice before, he got to practice with them, and then he practiced after, he 2 practices up on everybody all the time, every day.
After a week, that's 14 practices up. He's on everybody.
After a year,
everybody's looking at him going, how you this good? Or how you know how to get out of that situation? Because he's done it over and over and over again.
There you go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the principle behind that is simple. It's accountability. Because I probably train the most men in the world.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like outside of a professional sport, I probably have the most men that actually come to somebody, as a coach.
Right.
And which is commendable.
Right.
But the ones that don't come, like the men that come, you guys that come, all of y'all know how to work out. Right. It's stuff that you've done before.
Right.
But you are accepting the challenge to be held accountable.
Right.
That is the only difference from men that come and men that don't come.
Yeah, that and the work. Because there's a challenge around the accountability, but there's also a challenge around the work. It is not going to be regular. It's not going to be
so
average.
even the thing about that is most of us have played sports or been in a team or some type of group environment where I already understand the nature of us is to be competitive. So once I put you in a group environment or a team environment, like you're not going to be the one that doesn't do the work or get the work done because you accepted the challenge. You're part of the team now. And then that creates a synergy, which is super dope. But you got to create environments like that so that all of us can tap back into some of the things that we've been doing for 10, 15, 20 years, like playing sports. So that's our nature now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when we get out of that environment and element for so long that it's not our nature no more. So we like, nah, I don't want to be pushed. Yeah. Nah, that somebody's barking at me. Right. Like, man, we need to fight. We need to square up. We didn't fight on the field when, you know, the captain or the coach or when coach gave us a joint, it was, that's what it is.
That's it.
Now it's like, yo, you can't talk to him like that. Yo, I'm the fucking coach, man.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's yo, this is what you mean? I'm supposed to let, like, you know what I mean? Let me not rock in my gift? All right. Go ahead.
Right. That's insane. That's it. When you think about it, that's insane. That's insanity. I'm supposed to come here and not do what I'm supposed to do.
You're not coach.
Yeah, not do what y'all are entrusting me to do.
Yep.
That's insane. But people do. They flip out. They're like, "What do you mean?" Well, I got somebody
that walked out on me a few weeks ago.
Word.
I ain't said nothing to him since.
They come back. They come back?
They came back. No, I'm just saying, though, they was having their moments in their days, and guess what I was doing?
Yeah, your job.
I was doing my job. I was being me. So now I don't waste no pores. I'm not spilling
and
nothing.
People don't get, man, they don't understand that. That's what you need because most people lie to you.
Yep.
Right? Most people lie to you. They give you something that's not true. Now, the cool thing is once you know what's true, you can act accordingly. You can make a decision to bounce. And I think that is a core issue with a lot of relationships too. We lie in a lot of relationships, you know, I mean, with our friends, with significant others, with whomever. We don't keep it real with them. We don't tell them the truth because we think the truth is going to take something from the relationship or take something from us versus just being totally honest and then let the person decide on how they want to rock. You know, so yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, we ain't walking out on you, man. We appreciate you, bro.
No, I mean it's cool.
We see those results, man.
Bro,
if you got to get yelled at a couple times to get some results, man.
Bro, I'm totally like for me, all this shit is you got to have a short memory. Like I'm sports. Like I played sports my whole life. You think I'm gonna forget all this stuff, man? We have a joint. It's the next whistle. It's the next play. It's the next ball. I'm boom.
EA say he coming in the morning.
So ain't nobody think about EA. So that's why you gotta have a short attention span. Like, you know what I mean? No, forget about it. So she sent me a the thing on on Apple Watch.
Yeah.
You know how we be.
Oh yeah.
I ain't accept that shit. Yeah, shit. I'm petty as a mug. What's wrong with you, man?
I was about to say, why didn't you accept it? Because she walked out. Because
it's over. It's a wrap.
That's it.
Yeah, it's over.
Man, no second chances.
When people show you who they are, believe
hey, man. That's it. One. I mean, that's just like a little stain on a t-shirt. You're gonna throw the whole t-shirt away.
No, I mean, we would be cordial. So
right.
I'm here for a reason.
So let me. You're saying you're not gonna because you pour a lot of yourself into what
no extra
you do.
Pores. No extra pores. No extra nothing. Dang. Everything's rationed now.
Dang.
You get survival pores.
Ooh.
Sips.
That's tough, bro.
The sip will take you a long way.
That's tough. Yeah, but it ain't gonna take you to where you need to be.
Man, my man was ex Carolina Panther lineman. He lost 140 pounds or 100 pounds in like 40 days or something like that.
Wow.
You know what I'm talking about? He went 40 days with nothing.
With no food?
No food. He's down. He lost like 100 pounds, 140 pounds, something like that.
40 days with no food.
40 days, no food.
Is that? Well, I don't know. Hey, work for him. I was about to question it, but I mean, I was about to be like, yo,
pull it up real quick.
But it worked for him. 140 pounds.
He said it was the most enlightening period of his life ever. I'm sure he came face to face with the maker.
Lost 100 pounds in 40 days fast.
You found it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough.
That's crazy.
Water only.
Water only fast for 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
Then of course the People magazine is talking about the health dangers behind it.
Man,
but this guy's life has been changed, huh?
So you get average people now that want to try to control the narrative. Why? Because of consumption, because of consumers. This is now, if we're not patronizing the supermarkets, if we're not buying their food and products that are detrimental to our health, this dude probably just cured himself of 4 or 5 possible damn diseases or something, right? By naturally going on a natural cleanse and cure, right? And now he's probably eating organic because he probably don't want to put all that stuff right back on him and things like that. You know what I mean? He probably eating fruits and vegetables and stuff like that and taking it back to the essence because he's been enlightened about what he actually needs to survive and what he needs to thrive. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now their narrative has gone to shit. And if we get a bunch more people like him, then they go out of business.
Right. Because they have to report, and they have to be they have to go against what was done, because it's not average, it's not middle of the road, so something has to be wrong with it.
Because things will change. There will be a breakthrough, story, state, and strategy.
Exactly.
See, the thing is, I would sometimes I'll be wanting to poke holes, try to poke holes in what Lynch be talking about, but there's narratives though, because like you heard about the whole thing about like where the Got Milk campaign came from.
Nah, where'd it come from?
I mean, basically, back when Jimmy Carter was in office, there was issues like those farmers weren't selling enough milk. Mm-hmm. So basically, the country subsidized it and stuff like that, and then basically we're making a lot of that milk into cheese, which then caused the whole government cheese program, because then there was basically droves of government cheese just sitting, right? And that turned into that, and then it turned into the basically making sure that with the food pyramid that your dairy is like very, very, you want to consume a lot of dairy and stuff like that.
And that's the shit getting us sick.
Right,
it's causing mucus, and mucus causes disease. And then now we got to rely on the medicine.
Right. And then the fact that lactose intolerance is more normal than lactose tolerance, which is like stuff that I've learned. I'm like, damn, like Lynch is in my head.
I'll be on point. Ain't no holes in my shit.
But it's just like, it's weird because it's like you see those things like, 100 pounds in 40 days, right? And you'd be like, dog, like that's insane. But then you see on the other end, it's like, almond milk, right, used to be in the dry aisle all the time, right? Yep. And then all of a sudden they put it in the fridge, and now everybody's drinking it.
Everybody got almond milk, everybody drinking it.
Right. Or they'll say, oh, it's organic, but it was always organic.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, and the marketing behind it. So
that's like sea salt. All salt comes from the sea. All salt comes from the sea. So, we'll dress it up and say, oh, I got sea salt, it's special. But it's not. All salt comes from the sea. What else you got, man?
Man, shoot, I'm trying to make it happen, man. Fourth quarter, man. I'm trying to have,
hold up the fours. Hold up the fours.
I could be like Mike, fourth quarter.
To win the game?
Turn it up. It's always the win.
I mean, like I said, half this year I felt like I've been having the flu. So yeah, the fourth quarter is we here.
Quarter, man.
Mike didn't have the flu that game.
He didn't.
Nah.
Yeah, he was just drunk.
Here we go.
Nah, he wasn't drunk.
Yeah, he was drunk.
He had food poisoning.
Here we go.
Yeah, food poisoning. I'm just saying. Why you say here we go? Mike had food poisoning.
Yeah, from Patron.
No, he was not drunk. He had food poisoning. Yeah, food poisoning. Yeah, he ate. I forget where they're playing, but he ordered pizza out, and the pizza. You gonna have to Google it. You don't believe me?
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
He had to order. He ordered out because he was in, and the pizza came, and he had food poisoning. It was bad pizza, and so he was sick. It wasn't but how many of them flu game sneakers been sold? You can't sell food poison sneakers.
Net worth is $3 billion now.
Yeah,
you saw it?
Yeah, I saw that. You can't sell. You can't sell. Food poisoning sneakers.
If he did the pizza box ones and they came in a special pizza box type of thing,
I like that.
That would be hard.
That's a
pizza
sneaker connoisseur over there, mixed with a marketing genius. Shout out to my man for throwing out ideas that they're gonna rip off and he ain't gonna get nothing from it. All right, let's go ahead and patent that real quick, man, for the trademark on the sub. Exactly. Shout out to the big dog. Yeah, what else you got, big homie? What you got?
Man, I'm just it's like you said, man, it's fourth quarter. In fourth quarter, that's when you're tired in the fourth quarter. That's when the opponent has seen pretty much everything you've thrown at them by the fourth quarter. If you didn't
So what set you
go through
apart,
the whole playbook already.
What set you apart in the fourth quarter? Then?
Yeah, you got to get innovative in the fourth quarter, because if you run say the game is tied at the end of the third and you've done the exact same thing over and over and over again, you better come with something different in the fourth quarter. You better come with something innovative. You better come with something they ain't seen. Right? It might be a trick play or two, but it better be different.
I was looking for the conditioning.
The conditioning?
I was looking for the conditioning.
Well, yeah, and I guess that's a given. You ain't gonna quit. You ain't gonna sit down. You're not gonna quit. You're gonna continue to fight, but you better be doing something different. Food
poisoning. 1997.
I know, like you say,
so much that it was almost impossible to expand his legacy. Then came the flu game in 1997 NBA Finals, a performance that saw Jordan fighting through food poisoning to help lead the Chicago Bulls win a crucial Game 5 over the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, ain't no holes in my stuff either.
Ain't no holes
in my stuff, man.
Yeah, ain't no holes in my stuff.
But
we're gonna make a new shirt. You know what I mean?
Ain't no holes.
What else you got, big dog?
No, just still on this fourth quarter thing, man, and making sure that, because you can get kind of lulled into doing the same thing over and over again, hoping something is going to be different, hoping your output or the outcome is going to be different. But you have to make sure you get innovative and you do something different. If the thing that you're doing is not working, you got to flip it. You got to ingest it with something different. I don't know what the different is, but it has to be different, because what's that insanity? If I keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, I'm probably insane, and I probably will get it'll either be a tie score at the end of the fourth quarter or I'll lose the game, and I ain't trying to lose. I can't afford to lose.
Yeah, I think one way to help people out for the fourth quarter is I think we need to go back to the goal. Go back to the goal, what the goal either was or what you wanted to be for the fourth quarter, and then figure out the ways to get shit done.
Right.
I just came back from Houston. I was speaking in Houston, and I spoke 2 days in a row. And the second day, I actually talked about 4 ways to get shit done. It was pretty dope. So we have motivation was one of them. 2 was discipline. 3 was willpower, and 4 was what was the last one? I'm drawing a blank right now. But we started with the goal setting so that we could actually get. It wasn't.
Won't power.
Won't power goes into the
willpower.
Won't power's in the willpower box, but. What was it like? Because the first 3 are.
You sure it wasn't your clone that spoke?
I got a couple.
You got a couple clones?
Yeah, I actually send a representative every now and then.
Oh, I hear that.
Yeah. So remember the first 3. The last one is systems. The last one is systems. So you got motivation, you got discipline, you got willpower, and you got systems. So the first 3 are resources that can be used up. They're limited resources. So you can run out of motivation, you can run out of willpower, you can run out of discipline, but the system is always designed to get the result that it was designed to get.
Right.
So until you have to tighten up the system to get a different result, then it's going to be the system. It's going to be the system.
Yes. The system, right.
So if you have the systems, man. Yes. So you go to goals so that you can have the motivation. Goals are going to give you, it gives you motivation, it gives you clarity of objective.
Somebody told me they don't believe in goals. They said they believe in habits.
Well, they have goals which create the habits.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we're not conscious of certain steps.
Got it.
And I mean, with everybody, I think that's what makes us like dope mentors. We actually help people say, hey, you missed a step right there.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And that step could be a doozy. You know what I mean? Like you missed, you ever come down the steps with something in your hands and you missed the last one? Woo. It's the last step. You just did 29 steps right. And you missed one joint.
You ever missed the last 2? Missed the last two.
Nah, you missed the last two. You had to be sleepwalking.
Yeah.
You ever missed the top
clumsy.
one? The last, the very top one.
Yeah.
And then you trip up into the joint.
Up the steps.
And you probably fall into a foyer or like into a wall that's right there or something like that.
Yes, sir.
That's tough, right?
That is tough.
Yeah, so we help people. I think the dope things about us, as like mentors and coaches and just leaders, managers, things like that, is that we help people with the systems and with the steps.
Right.
And, that is very crucial to all our business. And I've been missing steps, I've been missing steps or not implementing things in the system, which, are not having, that makes me not have the best second quarter and turned it around in the third quarter. And now I'm ready to thrive for this fourth quarter to basically turn it around in the third, had a dope and have a dope fourth. So my year can be another, phenomenal year.
Right.
And you don't have to have the best first half. Like, people can catch fire, with a couple buckets, which are a couple steps, which is a system, Like, coach might say, go to the basket, so you get a layup.
Right.
You get a layup, you get the flow going, you know what I'm saying?
Colorado down 34-7 at halftime.
Coming back.
And they came back, almost won that thing.
Yeah. They would have won if they didn't have those injuries. Right.
Yeah, probably. And then even a couple turnovers, that muffed punt, and then the interception.
Yeah, that means people got to actually dissect that and say they for real.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you can't write them off now.
But it's always a but. They
I said, the belief. Yeah.
It's always a but. Why can't they? Anyway. That's a whole nother conversation.
Well, you can't just, if you're in a competitive world, you can't just give everybody credit that walk up. Like when we played sports, we couldn't just credit the other team.
I'm talking about the cast that don't even play, like the cast that's in the press conference at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
Still a question of, but they never suited up. They never put on cleats ever.
Well, they're average people.
But they got plenty.
They're average people with average jobs.
Right.
So they have average mindsets.
Right.
So nobody believes that anybody is going to no average person is going to look at someone who was below average the last time we saw you and think that you're about to change the world or change the game.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like
Facts.
they don't know that you got superpowers, you know what I mean?
Facts.
That they don't have, which is a belief and a mindset.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I woke up without my alarm this morning.
Amen.
For the first time since I changed it.
What time was that?
It was 3:30.
Woo!
I woke up with that.
Dog.
Because I woke up and I'm like, the alarm hadn't gone off yet. And so but then I looked and it had, so I just got on up.
The only time that's ever happened to me is a cold sweat, because I'm like, because you got to get to it.
Let me ask you this though. Did you maybe try to reverse engineer it to attribute it to something you ate different, or going to sleep earlier, or taking a nap, or, conserving your energy earlier?
No, it was just, so the only thing that's different is my schedule's different. And I said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm waking up at 3:30. And I guess if I had to point to one thing, it was not oversleeping. Like even with the alarm set, it was like, I can't oversleep. I can't, because I got to make this new process work. And so there might have been some anxiety around, waking up late. Yeah. And so that's what did it. But I woke up without the alarm.
So remember we did, we did a week of, certain part of a nutrition plan.
Yep. And
during that week, I was able to literally concentrate on what was different in my body, how my bowels maybe move, what type of energy I had,
right.
How I was waking up, the times of the day I went to the bathroom, color of my urine, or
right.
how many times, I actually did a number two,
right.
So these are all things that I'm actually trying to see, what is regular, what's not regular, what's the difference, and, how it affects me moving forward.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah. So why do I do that? Yeah. So that I can now have a new playbook to run. So I have a new, when I was doing that, those 7 days, I was waking up before the alarm clock. That's why I'm actually telling you that now. That's why I'm trying to get you to do the reverse engineer, which is the reflection.
The reflection.
So remember, we just did 2 days of what we were doing for that 7 days. And that was last night. which would have you still on the same, physiological and biological, regimen going on here, which was increased energy and things like that. So the next time that you do it, that part of the nutrition, see if it's duplicated, if you could duplicate it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
And if it is, then now you know what, some of the things you might have to adjust to have this kind of energy again, to have the same results. And then that becomes the system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I gotta measure. You can't manage what you don't measure, right?
Right.
So if I measure it.
But it comes from the result.
Yeah.
So
result,
that's why I said, so you had this phenomenal result.
Right.
And I have another group chat where my team, they met for cardio, outside of me at the gym, but they did the class first, and then the guy looked around and he said, shout out to Will. Will looked around and he seen all of the people from the team, and he was like, man, we've been transformed and stuff like that. Now I put in the chat, Will, I want you to reverse engineer this result. And actually, how did you make it happen?
Right.
Now you went to bed earlier, you woke up earlier, you came to this class earlier, you did it, but they did the class before they did the cardio, and they usually do the cardio at this time, and now they're riding a Peloton, so to speak, before the actual class. And it produced a result. So now you have to ask yourself, are you willing to wake up this early to produce this result every single time now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Now you are being transformed by renewal of the mind, because you did the reflection to say, this is actually what happened, and now this is the mindset I actually have to get this done. Because these are the steps that's going to take place. Am I willing to wake up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning now so that I can get on the Peloton before I get to the 5 o'clock class? You know what I mean? So now you reverse all of that, and you feel dope, you feel good, but can I create the system to keep this up? You know what I mean? And now you're like, you know what? I damn sure can do that shit Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm making that happen. And the energy in this class is super different. And you're like, so you don't mind coming to a place that is going to lift your energy at that early in the morning, you know what I mean? As opposed to 4-hour difference, bro.
Because there are plenty of things after that class that will try to bring my energy down, try to pull it down.
Absolutely.
So let me go ahead and gird up. Let me go ahead and build up. Let me stockpile some energy, so I got something to fight with.
Proud of you.
Later on, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. EA say he coming tomorrow.
EA, man. EA, I believe it when I see it. You know what I mean? My energy will go up when I see EA come.
I'm telling you, EA, shoot. I'm gonna tell you something else too. Like, you're hype. You're more hype at 5 a.m. than 9 a.m.
Oh yeah, by 9 a.m. I've been up 7 hours, bro.
Is that what it is? So?
Just think about somebody that works an 8-hour shift. And you get to the last hour of their shift. Think about it.
Yeah.
To get to the last hour of their shift, ain't none of them people at that job enthusiastic at that time, right? Think about it. They ready to go home. They ready to clock. They already clocked out, bro.
Bro, you are wide open at 5 compared to 9. I'm like,
and then I still got to come in at 9 and be like, let's fucking go.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's up with y'all, man? And then they be late.
So when you're tired, you got to manufacture that energy?
I got to manufacture, man. I got to recycle it.
It's that beyond, like that beyond meat.
I gotta go green. I gotta go green.
That beyond energy.
Yeah, we rolled off of fumes and plastic at that point.
Man, that's good stuff, bro. Yeah, man, I ain't got nothing else, man.
Hey, man,
I want to be like EA when I grow up.
Hey, we're gonna be like EA. We're gonna sit back. We're gonna chill. You know what I mean? We're gonna figure out how to.
Listen, man, I just came back off the 2-year. Like, I'm just chilling.
Yeah, shout out to EA. Congratulations, man. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
2 years, man.
Where'd you go, Bahamas or something? Where'd you go again?
Mexico.
Mexico, yeah, with Mexico.
Boy, you clean up well. Boy, I saw you in that suit, boy.
Appreciate you.
I was like, EA cleans up real well.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Okay, what they say about him?
Is that the dead ends cut?
Nah. This is Shave Cave. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. Shout out to Shave Cave then.
Yeah, man.
I have no idea what y'all talking about.
Barber.
The homies, Barber.
Oh, okay.
Man, Junior.
Yeah, that's your guy, man.
Yeah, shout out Junior.
Shout out Junior. Shout out Shave Cave. Shout out everybody, man. Shout out my man Mike. Yeah.
That's Lynch guy, man. Hey, listen, thank y'all for watching, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all, man. Go leave some comments. We love to respond to the comments, man. Make sure you share, you like, you click the bell, give us a 5-star rating on wherever you listen to your podcast, like if it's Spotify or Apple, man. And we just appreciate y'all, and thank you, man. I'm Rod Brown.
Yeah, I'm Lynch Hunt. And do me a favor, y'all. Tell us what your favorite part of the podcast was. Like, what's the part that stuck with you? What you took away? Just give me a jewel or something like that and let us know, because if we don't, then, we probably be talking about anything up here, man. So talk to us. Tell us what you want more of, what you like, what you love, and what you want more of, y'all. We'll highlight y'all the next one. Peace.
Peace.